Introduction, Prabhu is well known for his wonderful selfless services to our temple, and also for his wonderful devotional qualities. I mean, you can he's such a kind person, kind devotee, very dedicated to the mission of Srila Prabhupada, very, very sincere in executing devotional service, all the services, whatever services that he takes up. And, and more importantly, is driving our fundraising service to have a temple for Radha and Krishna in, in Cedar Park. So with that, we are very fortunate to have him as today's speaker. Let's welcome his guest Radha Damodar Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Damodar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Satyadhara Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve all of you. I will try to do some justice to the duty and entrusted on me. So let me share my screen. So Hare Krishna devotees, today I've been asked to give a session on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14 and verse number 12. So before we start Bhagavad Gita session, we have to chant Radha Damodar to come to the mood of understanding this message of Krishna. So we are going to sing this one. So please, you can sing along with with the song. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. we start the session, we will do invocation prayers. So this is to pray to our Guru Parampara. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunmitamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Vandehum Sri Gurum Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrahamsam Sakakana Raghunatham Vidam Sam Jivam Sadvaivam Swavadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lilita Sri Vishakhamsha Vidam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatprade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupista Kripa Sindhu Vevaja Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right. So Hare Krishna devotees, so we will, I'll recite this verse and I will ask any of you to recite after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Lopa Pravartirar Aram Sampha Karmanam Ashamaha Spraha Rajas Etani Jayante Vivarte Bharatarusha Lobha Pravartirarambha Karmanam Ashamaha Sprasha Rajasi Etani Jayante Vivarte Bharatarusha Lobha Pravartirarambha Karmanam Ashama Spraha Rajasi Etani Jayante Vivarte Bharata Rishabha. Hare Krishna. If anyone wants to recite this verse, please unmute and please recite.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I go, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Lobha pravartir arambha karmanam asamaha spraha rajasi etani jayante vivadhe bharatarasabha. Thank you.
Lobha pravartir arambha karmanam asamaha spruha rajasi etani jayante vivarte bharatat sabha.
Lobha pravarte arambaha karmanam asamapspraha rajaste yetani jayante vivarte bharadarsava.
Lobha pravittir aramba karmanam asamaspraha rajasi ethani nijayante vibhride bharatar sabha.
Lobha pravrittirarambah karmanam asamaspruhah rajasyetani jayante vivridde bharatarshava.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for singing. So, this is the synonymous and Lobha. Lobha means greed. Pravartihi, activity. Arambha, endeavor. Karmana, in the activities. Asamsha, uncontrollable, spraha, desire, rajasi, of the mode of passion, etani, all these, jayanti, develop, vivarthe, when there is an excess, bharata sprishava, O chief among the Bharata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of the great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develops. Once again, O chief of Bharata, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. So, this is the purport. If anyone willing to read the purport, please unmute. And
Can I go, Prabhu?
yes, Mataji.
One in the mode of passion is never satisfied with the position he has already acquired. He hankers to increase his position. If he wants to construct a residential house, he tries his best to have a palatial house, as if he would be able to reside in that house eternally. And he develops a great hankering for sense gratification. There is no end to sense gratification. He always wants to remain with his family and in his house and to continue the process of sense gratification. There is no cessation of this. All these symptoms should be understood as characteristics of the mode of passion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So, before we get into the details, we need to understand the background behind these verses, right? So we are talking about the chapter 14, and the title for this chapter 14 is the three modes of material, the three modes of material nature. That's the title for the chapter 14, and we had to understand the chapter 13 also a little bit to understand how this is transitioning from chapter 13 to 14. And here, we are from the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita is talking more about the knowledge required for doing devotional services, right? So Krishna is teaching one knowledge at a time here. So most people think there are many people who think that okay, this nature is our God, right? So here Krishna in the 13th chapter is explaining what is this Prakriti and how this living entities are entangled in this Prakriti, material nature, and which is actually an energy of the Supreme Lord, right? So, and that is due to our desire to enjoy. We are entangled in a cycle of birth and death for time immemorial, right? We have been in this material world for quite long. We have taken millions of births in this material world. So that is the explanation given in the 13th chapter. Then when we move on to the 14th chapter, here we explain how the material energy is actually binding the soul through the 3 modes of material nature, right? So that is what is going to explain. And we are also also Krishna is giving us the knowledge that okay, by knowing about this, what is the benefit? So the Phalastruti also is given here in a way. So Krishna is saying that one who understands this chapter attains liberation. Basically it means not born of the creation or disturbed at dissolution. So that liberation he can attain, and one can attain the transcendental nature like my own. Right? That's the summary, the benefit of knowing about this chapter. Right? So we all need to know about this three modes of material nature, and some more background. So we will a little bit talk about this material nature itself. We were originally part and parcel of we are still part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and we were originally residing in the spiritual world, right, with Krishna. Krishna is enjoying. We were serving Krishna, and when we saw Krishna's enjoyment, and Krishna has given us the free will to serve the way we want, because it's a loving exchange with Krishna. And when we see Krishna is enjoying, we want to also enjoy ourselves. So when we desire that, we get that desire. Krishna says, okay, you want to enjoy separately from me? Okay, there is a place for you. That's called material world. So Krishna puts you into the material world. So then he's giving all the facilities for you to enjoy independently away from Krishna. And also Krishna wants to tell us that, okay, no, this is not the place for you. You have to come back to me, but so that place is made miserable actually, so that the living entity realizes that this is not the right place for me. My constitutional position is to be with Krishna in the spiritual world. So he wants to us to get back to Krishna. So what is this material nature, right? So material nature, material world. So this is an external energy of the Supreme Lord, and this energy is when Mahavishnu breathes. The material worlds are every time he in exile, millions of planets are created. Millions of universes are created, right? And each universe there are millions of planets, right? And in these planets, so that's called the Pradhan. And then Mahavishnu glances this the universe, and as soon as he just by his glance, living entities are manifested in this material world as through the energy, the agency of Mahat Tattva. And once he's there, he's also get in touch with something known as the mode of material nature. So by the interaction of material, our living entity with the mode of material nature, we start to enjoy this material world. We are given the facility to enjoy and suffer this material world. So that's the context in which we are learning about this material, the modes of material, three modes of material nature. So move on. So basically, the three modes of material nature are three subtle forces that shapes our interaction between consciousness and matter, right? So as you all know, consciousness is a symptom of the soul. So first of all, we are not just body, right? We are spirit soul, right? And so we identify ourselves as this body. That is the mistake. That's the ignorance we have. But that is not the truth. The reality is we are just this material body is just a covering. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita it says Endra Rudani Maya. So we are this soul, and we are this material body is like a machine, it's an engine, okay? It's like a car, and we are using this material body to enjoy this material nature, right? And so, but we know that we cannot see the soul, right? But we are aware of it. You are aware of that when you were a child. You had certain body. When you are little grown up, you have a certain body. When you grow even older, you have a different body. But all the while, you know it is you, that consciousness is there. So the soul has the consciousness. Consciousness is a symptom of the soul. Whereas this matter, that is our body and other material, material elements that are out there, material objects that are out there, sense objects, they're all, they do not have any consciousness. They are unconscious, right? Only by the presence of consciousness, soul, there is consciousness. Ideal example is when a man dies, right? His soul is not there, so he doesn't have the consciousness, but the body is still there. That matter, lump body is still there, but it is unconscious. So that's the nature of soul and the material nature, material body. And so, ideal way to compare is like when we came to the material world, when we, for whatever reason, when we came to material world, we are going into a different world. It's like an alien planet. Like we are going to say Mars or Moon or something. So if you had to go there, we need to have a particular body to suit that atmosphere. So it's like we can compare it to the NASA's jacket, right? They have put all the gears and everything because you cannot. The atmosphere is different there, so we need to have a different type of body to suit that. So that is the dress we are talking about. So we need that dress to interact with the new world, which is the material world. So we have this kind of body, material body is given to us, which is made of material elements, earth, water, fire, ether, and intelligence, false and false ego, mind and false ego. Those are the material elements built up, the body is built upon. Right? And there are three modes of also there. These three modes are mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. They shape our perception about this matter. So that's what actually gives, whatever we are perceiving about this material world. That these three modes are the one which are enabling us. So to make us understand this one is like, so consider we are traveling in a train and there are three people, three different people who are in, one is in mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And when in the train you have beautiful scenery outside, there is a lot of beautiful trees and valleys, and, with the snow-covered mountains and everything. So let's see how each three person will view this differently, right? So a person in mode of goodness, he will think of, he looks at this whole scenery and thinks, okay, wow, this is so beautiful. Who might have created this one, right? It must be the creation of the Supreme Lord, and how great the Supreme Lord is. That is how the person in mode of goodness thinks, right? He thinks everything starts reminding him, in the good way, right? And a person in mode of passion starts thinking, wow, this is such a beautiful place. I want to enjoy this place. He might have seen a movie where previous night where the hero and heroine are dancing around this kind of a valley, and so I also want to enjoy like that. I want to bring my wife or girlfriend or whatever. So you just come and enjoy this place. So that's a mode of passion. And there is another person, third person is in mode of ignorance. So that person starts thinking, right? Okay, wow, this is a beautiful place. this is wonderful. I can sleep here. I just want to enjoy. That makes me sleepy, and I just want to sleep here. So he is lazy and sleepy, and he just wastes his time. He just sleeps there. So this is how the three modes acts, on us. Another example is about a person facing three people facing the dangerous situations, right? So, example I read about it is about a movie theater. People are all sitting and watching a movie. All of a sudden, there is a fire breaks out in the theater. So, and how these three people will react differently, right? So, the person in mode of goodness, right? He thinks quickly and realizes, oh, I need to have get this fire extinguished, and he goes for a fire extinguisher and he finds a way to control the fire, and he helps the whole people, right? So that's the nature of a person in mode of goodness. Whereas the person in mode of passion, right? He wants to. He creates all kinds of. Creates all kinds of anarchy there, and he just basically tries to get out of that place, and he creates stampede, all those kinds of problems, and he looks for himself, how I can get out of this place, right? And he in the meantime he just he creates more danger there. And person in mode of ignorance, that's the worst person. He doesn't mind even killing anybody to get out of that place, right? So he goes around, creates even more anarchies there. So these are just three examples just to get an idea about these three different modes of nature. So Krishna gives the idea, explains that there are three modes of material nature. So material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with the material nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes. So now that's what we meant by conditioning. So that's a big topic. What is meant by conditioning? Because we have no way to escape from this three modes. We have to abide by the laws of this material world. We have to follow the rules of this material. We have to the material nature has very stringent laws, rules. That is, you have to take birth, you have to die, you have to you have to grow, you have to have create, then you have to eventually die, and it goes in a cycle, right? And that keeps happening. So that's what is meant by control. And you may take a body in this life of a human. Next time you have a body in a body of an animal or aquatics. One of the 8.4 million species, one bodies will take, right? So we cannot help that part, and that's what is meant by conditioning. And the person who is in goodness, he is knowledgeable. He is also free from sins, and he's able to control his senses, the conditioned by senses of happiness. Right? He's more happy person. He's more kind towards others, right? And he helps out. He's more charitable, things like that. Then there is mode of passion. They are the Rajoguna. The unlimited desires he have, right? And they are into fruitive activities. They just want to enjoy. So they are characterized by attraction between a man and a woman. So they are in a passionate mode. Then there is Tamoguna, that is the ignorance. That is the madness. There are many characteristics: madness, laziness, intoxication, any kind of gambling. All those things are in the mode of ignorance. And you can see this nice picture out here. So person who is in goodness, deals with all good stuffs, buying fruits, vegetables. Those who are in passion, they are enjoying. They think they are enjoying actually, but it's a material world is so full of miseries, and they are just drinking, eating merrily. And the mode of ignorance, they eat they kill animals, they eat. They don't have any problem with that. They cheat, all kinds of things they do. Right? This gives an idea about the three modes. This little deeper one I got it from internet. Very nice chart explaining all the verses and various aspects combined here. Basically, this chart is made from the actual verses of the Bhagavad Gita and the Srila Prabhupada's purport. So the modes of goodness. So this is an overall summary of chapter 14, just to give an understanding. So these are the modes. So mode of goodness. Then what are the binding forces behind for acting on these three modes? So we get a sense of happiness, satisfaction, knowledge, and superiority. That is for the people who are in mode of goodness. And those who are in mode of passion, they get attachment to the fruitive activities, binds by the ropes of the desire for attachment. And the mode of passion basically binds by the ropes of desire for material, desire and attachment. That is the main characteristics. A lot of desire and attachment. And those who are in ignorance, madness, laziness, and sleeping tendency. And then what are the characteristics and manifestation of these natures, right? So illuminates the gates of the body with the knowledge. I think this beautiful verse, our kids' recitation, we talked about the 9 gates of the body. So they basically, all the 9 gates are illuminated by the knowledge about the Supreme, and those are the characteristics. And we are more God-fearing or God-conscious people, mostly in goodness. Free from sinful reactions, they are mostly free from sinful reactions. Whereas those who are in passion, they are very intense desire, and they have a lot of longing for material things and great attachment. They will be more indulged in fruitive activities. So they want fruitive activities means they do some activity and they want to enjoy the results of activity. They work hard, whatever the money they earn, they just want to enjoy that money, right? With that money. But those who are in mode of ignorance, they are again same madness and darkness. They are always in darkness. Whereas, and this is another point. This little beyond the topic of our class today, but we'll just quickly rush through that. So at the time of death, what happens to the people who are in mode of goodness? Right? That's also good to understand. They they attain the pure higher planets. Those who are in goodness, they are also bound, and they go to higher planetary systems, the planets of great sages. Whereas those who are in mode of passion, they attain earthly planets. But those who are in mode of ignorance, they go into the lowest plant species, like aquatic onwards. They start building up their body right after death. And what is the results of their action of being acting in goodness? They are pure. They are more knowledgeable. They can elevate to higher planets, such as they can go even up to Brahmaloka. Those who are in passion, they are mostly in misery. They are full of greed. They will be back in earthly planet. By the way, they they will not be able to go to higher planets. Those who are in ignorance, they are foolish and madness. Those are their results of action. They are always in misery. Life is like a hellish condition. And which mode? So now these three modes are actually constantly competing to gain supremacy, right? So the 1410 says sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent and defeating the mode of passion and ignorance. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats the goodness and ignorance, and other times ignorance defeats the goodness and passion. In this way, there is always a competition for supremacy. So we all have all these modes actually to some percentage, right? Some time back, Satsara Prabhu actually gave us an exercise to find, where we are in this, what kind of modes we are in, right? I don't know how many of you have taken those exercises. I think it was for the teenage students as well as some those who are attending Bhakti Shastri courses. So if you are interested in knowing about the modes you have, there is a test you can go through, and probably Prabhu can tell you what modes you are in and help you out, how to control and go in the right direction for us. So basically, it tells you we all have these all these three modes in various degrees, right? Sometimes one of the modes becomes prominent, another times another mode becomes prominent, and sometimes even the ignorance becomes prominent. We can go through. So this is our mode totally depends on our karma and our work that we are doing. We are actually building our next life right now based on our karma, right? So what kind of activities we do? Are we doing things in mode of goodness? Are we associating with good people? We become based on those karma, what we choose. It is our choice. That particular mode becomes prominent. One example is if you are associating with devotees, the mode of goodness becomes prominent in us, right? We are discussing here about God and are doing good things. So we are in that mode of goodness part, and that's what is predominant at this moment for all of us. And when we are associating with people who want to, so today is Sunday and all of you choose to come and attend this class. Instead you could have gone for a movie and enjoy. So if you're in that mode and you are with that kind of friend circle, you are in the mode of passion. And then if you are, you can also choose, Sunday I've been working so hard so many days and I want to go take rest, I want to sleep, right? And I just want to sleep the whole day. Then we are in mode of passion, ignorance, right? We are wasting our time. We have to know what is the purpose of our life, how to utilize this material body, the body we have, and this human form of life. It's very rare, human form of life. So we need to utilize that. And so how to identify these modes? Actually, Bhagavad Gita tells you that in 14, the verse we have to talk about 11, 12, and 13th verses. Right? So 11th verse says, the manifestation of God, mode of goodness can be experienced when all gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. And for 12, our verse for today says, when there is an increase in mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor for something, and uncontrollable desire, hankering develops. So all these things are mode of passion. And when one is in the mode of ignorance, darkness, inertia, madness, illusions are manifested. So based on this, we can identify which mode we are in. All right. Now coming back to our verse for today. So so what is this mode of passion, right? So during this passion, when we are passionate, we develop a lot of attachment, and we are indulged in more fruitive activities, things like that. So one in mode of passion is never satisfied with this passion, the position that we already have acquired. Right? That is the main part here. We are always hankering to increase our position. So one example is, when I grew up, in a poor neighborhood actually, when in India, and I have seen people with the poor background, but the moment they've somehow made some money through illegal means or whatever, then they started building, huge houses, right? They were very happy to that, and they were not happy with even that. They started, these people started trying to get even more money by even more illegal means, and they started acquiring more lands nearby and other lands, and they're not even happy with that. They started constructing 2-story homes after that. Then they started acquiring even more bigger houses. So those are the typical nature of those who are in mode of passion. So they want to have big palatial house. They are not happy with anything, right? They are always looking for things they can enjoy more. They are thinking they are enjoying by having all these things, and they have that sense of enjoyment also is there, but actually they are actually inviting more karma there, more misery. They are not realizing that. And so he also develops great hankering for sense gratification, right? And there is no end for sense gratification. They are just they work so hard. Srila Prabhupada says elsewhere, like he has seen many people in New York City goes and works whole day, work like asses. That's what he uses the word. And whatever, what for he's doing? He's just for eating 3 chapatis, just for the whole day, and they again go back, work hard. That's all he does. So that is how passionate they are, right? But they are also actually, in one way, they are not even. They are actually even the way they are working hard is to gratify their senses. Actually, they have a sense of pride there to make some accomplishments there. That's also part of sense gratification. And another important part is they are also very attached to the family, right? They want to make all the family members, very successful. They will do anything for their family members to also enjoy senses, do sense gratification basically, and there is no cessation to it. They will do all means to attain it. And all these are the symptoms or characteristics of mode of passion. And for this, is that good, right? That's the question. So this great attachment is not good. We are all we'll have certain attachment, but too much attachment to all these material things are not good. There is a story of a sparrow, right, where the whole family is there, and the sparrow, the small child sparrow, he gets stuck in the hunter's net. Then and the rest of the family members sees this one, and one by one they goes to rescue them, but in turn they also get stuck. Then the mother now sees this. Mother cannot stand this, So mother also goes to rescue them, the sparrow, but the hunter actually catches them all. Then comes the father. Father comes and sees, okay, no, there is no way he can help rescue my family here. So he wisely decides to leave this one. This is an example of where we can we should control our attachment here. So I mean, you can replace mother, father with someone else. It's not specific to a particular gender or anything. The point here is that this great attachment can only put us into more trouble, right? It's not going to help us. Whereas we have to have certain attachment, but we need to have that controlled. And again, that attachment, if it is for material things, it is dangerous. We can have attachment for Krishna. So if we continuously do a lot of activities, fruitive activities, that's also not good. We need that's not for pure devotion. But one attachment we can have attachment for Krishna, right? We can do everything for Krishna. So we say there are many times we'll see in the scriptures that we need to have detachment, right? We are actually not talking about detachment. Right, detachment from whole material world, material things is not possible. We need to, we don't want to have detachment from our family members either. We want to be attached. We want to attach to Krishna. When we increase our attachment towards Krishna, we are automatically detaching from other things, right? So, for example, when we are making, when we are, one of the questions earlier asked by Arundhati Mataji to Satsara Prabhu was about, about the work, right? Whatever work you are doing and whatever results you are produced, if you use that results for the service of Krishna, then we are more attached towards Krishna. Thereby, we are detaching towards our actual job itself. Actually, our job is just to, make that money so that we can serve Krishna. If we are in that consciousness, then we are in the right way, right spot, right? All our endeavor has to be with Krishna in mind. When Krishna is at the center of our life, then we are going to make tremendous progress in our life. So, and again, we see many people are not satisfied with whatever money they get, right? We are still earning for a lot of money, right? Whatever we got, we are not satisfied. So at one point, we'll realize in our life that this money is not going to bring happiness to us. We all think that that's what is bringing happiness. I've seen here some of my friends. They went for a lot of extra efforts to make money, such as besides their normal work, they do extra endeavor in investment, extra endeavor in stock market, extra endeavor in real estate market. So many things they do. So all this money earning thing, I mean, first of all, nothing wrong in doing that as long as we make these things also Krishna conscious, right? So you can go for unlimited amount of earning money. Like you can become a Bill Gates or Warren Buffett. But if you use that money for Krishna service, then it becomes really valuable. Right? So otherwise, all this money is not going to help because Krishna is in control. Right? So we had to ultimately give up all these material desires, slowly, gradually. And the hankering, we are never satisfied, right? That's another point in this verse. we keep we just, our mind is still hangers for this thing and that thing, this thing, that thing. We want that, I want that, I want this. I need now 80-inch TV. I want now, next time I'll be seeing 90-inch TV. The things our mind keeps longing for new material things. And also we look when we look at past, we think, oh, okay, oh, we should have had, we should have had at that time, we should have had this, and we lament about it. We are not happy with that. And then we think about future. No, I need to have this. I need to make this much money so that I can do so and so things. So we are hankering like this all the time. But we had to be, ideally, we had to be satisfied with whatever we have. Recently, we learned about Isha Upanishad for those who are attending Bhakti Shastri. Isha Vashamidam Sarvam. So here we know everything is controlled and owned by Lord Krishna. We have to accept that fact. And also, we should not, we should accept things only that are necessary for ourselves. That is set aside as our quota. We all have a quota, right? And we should not accept anything more than that. And we need some material activities to live in this material world. So Krishna has given us something to us. So okay, you do that. You use this one. You need to maintain our body. In order to serve Krishna, we need to use our material body. We need to eat. We need to earn money to feed our body, to keep ourselves healthy, so that we can serve Krishna. So whatever is just necessary for doing that, just do that. Rest all Krishna will take care, right? And so we had to be Krishna conscious, and we had to leave rest of the things for Krishna. I just wanted to tell you about the story from this book, Chasing Rhinos with Swami by Shyamasundar Prabhu. So this there's a beautiful story that illustrates how Krishna is going to help us. Right? So when we are fully surrendered to Krishna, Krishna helps us. Miracles happens. Okay, the story is about Shyamsundar Prabhu is Prabhupada's disciple. One of the devotees who helped Srila Prabhupada to establish the temple in San Francisco in early days, right? Early days of ISKCON. So these devotees rented a place, just like we have a rented place in the temple. They also rented a storefront in San Francisco, and they were living in an apartment. They themselves don't have money. Everything was on donation. They have to feed hundreds of people who are coming to the temple, right? And they had to feed themselves as well, right? So they didn't have any money. They were distributing books, and those days even books were not available the way we have right now, right? So they were distributing whatever means they have. They would just beg and borrow money from everyone who are to just run the temple, and they didn't have even money for paying the rent. So they were thinking, how will we pay the rent? I mean, the next day is the due date. So one day, so early morning in San Francisco, when they were coming to the temple, on the way to the temple, it was very foggy. I mean, San Francisco, those who have been to San Francisco, those streets get foggy very fast. And while they were coming towards the temple, they saw $100 bills falling down from the sky, just in front of them, right in front of them. And there were just sufficient money to pay the rent and their expenses. And from where they got that money, nobody knows. That's how miracle happens. When you are fully dedicated to Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate, right? So this is where the chanting helps. So we need to chant and please our Krishna. And we also need a guru, right? Krishna can tell us, Guru can tell us about our position, right? And what nature we have, and Guru can help us, right? Depending upon our nature, appropriate services are given to us, right? Those who are in mode of passion, they'll be given service to chase after something, get things done, more of goodness, they will do a lot of Brahminical services, like that, the Guru can help us, guide us there, right? So we all need a Guru. And and we need, ours is actually a preaching mission. So we need to spread this message. Whatever we are talking, we need to continue doing that. That's also going to help us to be in this mode, in the right spirit. Again, one of the important thing is, where are we? I mean, we are. Is this enough? We have to be in mode of goodness. No, actually, we have to be beyond this good mode of goodness. We have to be beyond all these three modes. That's when we will be able to go back to Krishna, because all these three modes are going to bind us into this material world, right? They are by doing this, being even in mode of goodness. When we do good, we have to come back and enjoy this material world again, right? So they are going to be binding. So we want to be a person in Krishna consciousness. We want to be beyond these three modes. How do we do that? We offer all the results of our activities to Krishna. When we are doing for Krishna, there is no karma. When we eat when we eat our food, right, we only eat prasadam. So there is no karma associated with that. Like that, everything, every activity, the house we live, that is it's Krishna's house. When we make it as a temple, then it becomes we are beyond the mode of these three modes. Like that, whatever work we do, we dedicate all the efforts, everything, results, everything to Krishna. Then we are beyond these three modes. How about our family? We had to make our family members Krishna conscious, right? So when we do that, they are also children of Krishna, right? When we treat, then we develop more love towards each and every one of them, because Krishna provides that love to all of us. So we will be able to bring, not only rescue ourselves, we will be rescuing our family members as well. So with that, I will end here. So if there is any questions or comments, we can discuss now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the nice session. So I do have one query regarding ignorance, Prabhuji. So is that ignorance is laziness, or like even he creates the harmness to the society? I mean, like by his criminal nature.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, if I understood your question correctly, so what are the real nature of these people who are in mode of ignorance, right?
Yes.
Right. So people in mode of ignorance tend to be one of the characteristics is laziness, right? And they are poor knowledge. First of all, they are in total ignorance. They do things. They, even if we try to teach them anything about this Krishna consciousness, they don't want to listen to you. They think they know everything. Whatever they are doing, they are doing the right thing. They are more interested in being enjoying lazily. They are interested. They will be involved in killing, animals, eating, hunting, all those things. So let me go back to that slide, which explains a little more. So those who are basically they are real fools actually, because they I think the examples which I gave was, one of the things I was saying was they just have the time and everything, but they prefer to spend their time, in a lazy fashion, right? Than actually making use of the facilities given to us. They are normally not interested in anything. They don't have any desire also. Basically, okay, I need to study well to become so and so that I can earn this much money. No, that's not their interest. They want to, by hook or crook, they want to achieve something. They also want to survive, so they also want to get money and other thing, but they will do everything in a. They are. Okay, one of the example is they are into drugs. They are into women. They are into illicit activities, right? All these things are characteristics of people who are in laziness. They are thieves. They go into that extreme as well. So they are do those kinds of things. Sarah Prabhu, you want to add anything to?
I think you summed it up well, Prabhu. So just maybe I'll give an example, Vittal Prabhu. So we all are born with mix of these three gunas, okay? As Prabhu was explaining so nicely. So let me give an example. For example, in terms of health, the people who are in Sattva Guna, they eat sattvic food. The food based on the long-term health, which gives long-term health benefits. Okay, so the people who are in Rajasic, they just focus on the short-term enjoyment in eating food. They eat very spicy, very savory, you name it, like that. The people who are in Tamasic, they eat a destructive food because they don't care about the body. They drink, they take drugs, as Radha Damodar was saying, and things like that. Or if you take in terms of worship, the people's sattvic worship is you won't ask for material things to God because you have proper understanding of the scriptures. So the Rajasic worship is you go to God for material things only. Oh, Krishna, give me money. Krishna, give me health. Krishna, give me health for my kids or whatever. Always something we want from Krishna. The Tamasic worship means the people who are in mode of ignorance. It's a concocted worship, meaning there's no reference to the scriptures. They come up with their own way of worshipping. They come up with their own idea of worshipping and things like that. So in terms of knowledge, if you take the person in Sattva Guna, tend to develop knowledge about Atma. Now we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, and things like that. The Rajaguna people, they tend to develop knowledge about own body. They care about body only, how to be healthy. Why? So that they can enjoy, not for serving the God, serving Krishna. Or they develop knowledge about worrying about the bodies of people they are attached to them. That's all they think about. So people in ignorance, they tend to care only about their own body, nothing else. So like this, in terms of values, if you take, the Sattva Guna people will rely on the scriptures to get values. They just follow the life, follow the values given in the Vedic scriptures, in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, like that. So people in Rajoguna, they may go to scripture, but it's all motivated by selfish desires. They selectively take something and apply, something they don't apply, just to enjoy. The Tamoguna people, they don't even refer to anything. They have their own concocted false values. So this is how the modes are acting on people, and and things like that. It makes sense, Vittal Prabhu? Some examples.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I got it. So in that case, like, is that the kind of hierarchy, Prabhu? Ignorance is the worst, and passion is kind of bad, and then goodness is good.
That's exactly correct. Right?
Okay.
So we need to move from ignorance to passion to goodness. Generally, we all have, as I said, the mix of these things. These are like, you can see them as RGB, red, green, and blue. the primary colors. Mix of these colors produces millions of colors. So similarly, these three modes mixes and makes millions of millions and millions of nature of people. The different varying degrees these modes mix and affects the people's mental functions, actions, and everything.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Over to you, Radha. Prabhu.
Thank you, Satsara Prabhu. Thank you, Vittal Prabhu. That's a nice question. Anybody has any comments or questions? Okay, looks like no other comments, Prabhu. Back to you.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, devotees. Kannan Prabhu is going to give a thank you note. Kannan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, devotees. Hare Krishna, Radha Damodar Das Prabhu. It was such a fantastic class, Prabhu. Really, more informative, and also, especially I learned so many things. And I wanted to give every point, but due to the time restriction, I just want to give the important points. First, you covered about the background of this three modes of material natures, and then you talked about how the living entities came into this material world when they think that why I want to associate with Krishna, and Krishna becoming a master in every aspect. Why not I become a master? Why not I can enjoy separately? That's where Krishna put us this in the material world. And then you talked about the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance. And basically these modes, these modes, our interaction between consciousness and matter, that's what these three modes are. The soul is always, conscious and matter conscious. So you talked about that. And also I like the example of, the train, how the mode of goodness and the mode of ignorance and mode of passion, people looking at outside the scenery. It was beautiful, Prabhu. The mode of passion, a mode of goodness, people always, thinking about everything, how Krishna created these things beautifully. So the mode of goodness, people always, relating everything to Krishna. Mode of passion, they wanted to enjoy their own enjoyment. And mode of ignorance is, that's they are just wasting the time. They want to sleep over there and do the things. That's such a nice example, Prabhu. And also you gave that, the three properties of that Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. Very nice. Sattva Guna is knowledge, and Rajaguna is unlimited desire. Some of the properties I'm listing, not everything. And Tamoguna is madness. And the more important thing in this class I liked about is, Prabhu, that the working of three modes, you beautifully explained, the chapter 14, how three modes are executed in binding force, characteristics and manifestations, and the destination at the death, and results of action for each and every mode. With the 14th chapter, verses like 14, I think 14 to 14.6 to 14.8, kind of, so I really like that particular. So really, it gives me more knowledge about that, Prabhu. And another important thing is, like how the 14.11, 14.12, 14.3 verses talked about, the 14.11 is, how the all body gates of the body are eliminated by knowledge. This is mode of goodness. And mode of 14.12 is mode of passion, how when there is an increase in mode of passion, over attachment and fruitive activities, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire is happening. That's 14.12. And 14.3 mode of ignorance, where darkness, inertia, madness, everything happen at the mode of ignorance. Then we talked about your one personal example, the neighbor, how he is overly attachment. When he was a poor and he got a little money, he created the house, and they go and gathering the other properties more and more. So they are overly attached and they do more illegal activities and other things. So that is really, really nice example for us to understand. And the hangering part, you really explained very well with the Iso Upanishad, Isavasyam Idam Sarvam, that verse. With that, we need to always focus on our quota. We should not over endeavoring or grab others property or anything. The quota things you clearly explain on this. And then finally, you not only we need not to move to mode of passion to mode of goodness, but we need to move beyond that in the transcendental mode. That's where we can go back to Krishna. Well, how we do that, you clearly explain that you approach a guru. The guru will guide you or guide everything, because the guru knows what position you are now. So as per the guru's instruction, if you follow, you do all your activities basically towards Krishna, so that you won't incur any karma. Then you are free from these material modes and everything, and you can go back to Krishna. I really, so far, to do all these things, you need to keep chanting and keep association with the devotees and everything. That's such a fantastic and informative class, Prabhu. Thank you so much for enlightening us. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kanan Prabhu, for the nice thank you note. Radha Damodar Prabhu, thank you very much again for the wonderful class. So we'll quickly do announcement and Narsimha Arati by Sridevi Mataji. Quick announcement, Radha Damodar Prabhu.
We'll do the Narsimha Arati first, then come to announcement.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's the other way. Let's do Narsimha Arati first. Sridevi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahalatlatadayine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Nasimho Parato Nasimho Yato yami tato nasimho Bahir nasimho Hridaye nasimho Narasimhamatim saranam prabhate Tavakara kamalavare nakam Arpuda sinkam Dalita Hiranyakashipudhanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Praglatmagra Jaya Praglatmagra Jaya Praglatmagra Jaya Praglatmagra Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nrsimhadev ki jai Praglat Maharaj ki jai Prabhupada ki jai Gurudev ki jai Gauranitai ki jai.
Wonderful, wonderful, Sridevi